So we just started Kings yesterday, and we talked a bit about Solomon. Right, Solomon was named king by David, and we had a little bit of family drama. One of the sons proclaimed that he was king, and Solomon's mom was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! You promised Solomon is going to be king," and so David had to fix that ordeal, and then he passed away. So now we're in chapter 4. Solomon is fully king, and we're under his administration right now. So let's get started.
Now Solomon made a treaty with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and
Whoa.
married Pharaoh's daughter.
Whoa.
He brought her
Man, what did Michael from the office say? How the turntables have yeah, the tables have turned like crazy. We have a Hebrew marrying into, or we have Egyptian royalty marrying into Hebrew royalty. Like, that's crazy. Like, think about it. Just a few centuries ago, or is it more? I think, yeah, it's a few centuries ago. They were the slaves of these people. That's crazy.
and married Pharaoh's daughter. Then he brought her to the city of David, until he had finished building his own house, and the house of the Lord, and the wall all around Jerusalem. Meanwhile, the people sacrificed at the high places, because there was no house built for the name of the Lord until those days. And Solomon
Right, we were talking about that earlier. And God said, what did God say? You know, I've been traveling in a tent this whole time. I don't need a place of residence. This was when David had established his house in Jerusalem.
loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of his father David, except that he sacrificed and burned incense at the high places. Now the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. Solomon offered 1,000 burnt offerings on that altar. At Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said,
Ask, what shall I give you?
You have shown great mercy to your servant David, my father, because he walked before you in truth, in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with you. You have continued this great kindness for him, and you have given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. Now, O Lord, my God, you have made your servant king instead of my father David, but I am a little child. I do not know how to go out or come in.
How young was Solomon when he was king? How old was Solomon when made king? Now, Lord my God, you have made your servant king in place of my father, but I am only a little child and do not know how to carry out my duties. The age of Solomon is not recorded. However, we have the following facts that suggest an agreement with most non-biblical sources that Solomon was about 20 years when he became king. He reigned for 40 years, which made him 60 when he died. At Solomon's death, his son Rehoboam took the throne and was age 41. This means Solomon was about 19 when Rehoboam was born and about 18 when he was married. How do we know that? So how do we know his initial age? David was 70 when he died. This means that David was about 50 when Solomon was born. about 20 years of events that took place. So that's how he's guesstimating. Okay. At the same time, it is questionable whether such words would be used by himself at a young man of 20, a little child, right? David, being the father, took the throne at age 30. He reigned for 40 years, died at 70. David meets Solomon's mother, Bathsheba, in Jerusalem. A rough calculation shows that David was around 45 or 50 years when he met Bathsheba. So 70 minus 45 is 25. 70 minus 50 is 20. So Solomon would be 20 to 25 years of age. I wanted how did the rough calculation. So David was around 45 to 50 years when he met Bathsheba. I mean, that's going to take a little bit of tracking down the days and his ages throughout. So, but looks like the consensus is around 20, 25 years for all these. So, okay, we'll go with that for now. But think about it. Yeah, 20, 25 years, you're still pretty young for all of this, right? David was, what did it say? He reigned for 40 years. He took the throne at 30. So, yeah, Solomon was relatively young compared to his father. So, I can understand the pressure. 20 years old, right? You're still in college.
But I am a little child. I do not know how to go out or come in. And your servant is in the midst of your people, whom you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to be numbered or counted. Therefore, give to your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, that I may discern between good and evil.
I'm surprised no one has ever asked.
Is able to judge this
like
great
we haven't heard David speak like this. Moses, Joshua, any great leader, we haven't heard them ask for something directly like this before. That's interesting, right?
And evil. For who is able to judge this great people of yours?
The speech pleased the Lord,
Yeah,
but Solomon
I would
had
imagine.
asked this thing.
Because you have asked this thing, and have not asked long life for yourself, nor have asked riches for yourself, nor have asked...
come on, he wouldn't have asked all that. You're not the great dragon Shenron. You're God, right? He's not going to... Or maybe people have prayed to God, please make me rich and live forever.
For yourself, nor have asked the life of your enemies, but have asked for yourself understanding to discern justice. Behold, I have done according to your words. See, I have given you a wise and understanding heart, so that there has not been anyone like you before you, nor shall any like you arise after you. And I have also given you what you have not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be anyone like you among the kings all your days. So if you walk in my ways, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as your father David walked, then I will lengthen your days.
All right, so see, the reason why God is blessing Solomon like this is because Solomon didn't ask for something for himself. He essentially asked for the ability to do his job that God had given him well, right? What he asked for was to be able to serve better, right? So that's not really something for himself. That's something for God's people, right? That's for the betterment of everybody. But here, it didn't say that Solomon is going to be the wisest man of all time. He said he will make him, where's the exact wordage? So that there shall be anyone like you among the kings all your days. So that there has not been anyone like you before, nor shall any like you arise after you. Right? I have done according to your words. See, I have given you a wise and understanding heart. Right? So he has made Solomon an empathetic person, wise to others, to I guess, just generally wise, and right. And there's not going to be anyone like him before or after, till the end of time. But that is not saying that he's going to be the wisest man ever, right? That's not what it's saying. They're just saying that God's just saying that there was not going to be anybody like him, right? So, yeah. Because usually when you hear about Solomon, you think of it as like at a Samson level, right? Samson, the strongest guy to ever live. Solomon, the wisest guy to ever live, right? It's like superpowers. One guy is super smart, one guy is super strong, and they're like, it's like it's sort of blowing it out of proportion, I would say, right? So let me know your thoughts about that down below, right? Down in the comment section. Because I always thought that he was the wisest man to ever walk the earth. But it doesn't seem like that here. The way it's worded here doesn't seem like that.
Then I will lengthen your days.
Then Solomon awoke, and indeed it had been a dream. And he came to Jerusalem and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, offered up burnt offerings, offered peace offerings, and made a feast for all his servants. Now 2 women who were harlots came to the king and stood before him.
Oh, my lord, this woman and I dwell in the same house.
I didn't know they were both harlots.
And I gave birth while
What?
she was in the house. Then it happened, the 3rd day after I had given birth, that this woman also gave birth. And we were together. No one was with us in the house, except the 2 of us in the house. And this woman's son died in the night because she lay on him. So she arose in the middle of the night and took my son from my side. While
Sad,
your
they don't even know who the
maidservant
father is.
slept, and laid him in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose in the morning to nurse my son, there he was, dead. But when I had examined him in the morning, indeed, he was not my son whom I had borne.
No, but the living one is my son, and the dead one is your son.
No, but the dead one is your son, and the living one is my son.
Thus they spoke before the king. And the king said,
The one says, This is my son who lives, and your son is the dead one.
It's
And the
tough.
other says, No, but your son is the dead one, and my
Come on,
son
Solomon,
is the
see that
living
wisdom
one.
put to work.
Bring me a sword.
So they brought a sword before the king.
Divide the living child in 2, and give half to one and half to the other.
Then the woman whose son was living spoke to the king, for she yearned with compassion for her son.
Oh, my lord, for the living child, and by no means kill him.
Let him be neither mine nor yours, but divide him.
Oh, yeah. How heartless do you have to be? Like, okay, yeah, it's not your kid. You don't really care. But it's still a child, and you're like, okay, yeah, let him get cut in half. It's fine. Like, what? I mean, I feel like both would protest. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't cut this kid. Maybe this woman screamed out, yelled before and more hysterically, and said, and went to the extra step and said, no, don't kill the child. Let her have the child, right? And then you'd be like, okay, she's the mother. But this lady was like, fine, go ahead and kill her. Like, kill the kid. Like, what? Come on, lady.
Him.
Let him be neither mine nor yours, but divide him.
So the king answered,
Give the first woman the living child, and by no means kill him. She is his mother.
And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had rendered. And they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to administer justice.
Dum dum. Chapter 4.
So King Solomon was king over all Israel. And these were his officials: Azariah, the son of Zadok the priest; Elihoreph and Ahijah, the sons of Shisha, scribes; Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, the recorder; Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, over the...
You have a scribe and a recorder? I'm assuming that a recorder records events. What does a scribe do? Maybe he writes down messages to be sent to other people, or other written work? I don't know.
army, Zadok and Abiathar, the priests; Azariah, the son of Nathan, over the officers; Zabud, the son of Nathan, a priest and the king's friend; Ahisha, over the household; and Adoniram, the son of Abda, over the labor force. And Solomon had 12 governors over all Israel, who provided food for the king and his household. Each one made provision for 1 month of the year. These are their names: Ben-Hur in the mountains of Ephraim, Ben-Deacon in Makaz, Shealbim,
Judah
Beth-Shemesh,
Ben-Hur.
and Elon Beth-Hanan; Ben-Hesed in Aruboth. To him belongs Sokol and all the land of Hepher; Ben-Abinadab in all the regions of Dor. He had Taphath, the daughter of Solomon, as wife; Baana, the son of Ahilud, in Tanakh; Megiddo, and all Beth-Shean, which is beside Zeratan, below Jezreel; from Beth-Shean to Abel-Meholah, as far as the other side of Jokneam; Ben-Geba in Ramoth-Gilead. To him belong the towns of Jair, the son of Manasseh, in Gilead. To him also belonged the region of Argad, in Bashan. 60 large cities with walls and bronze gate bars; Ahinadab, the son of Iddo, in Mahanaim; Ahimaaz in Naphtali. He also took Basemath, the daughter of Solomon, as wife; Baana, the son of Hushai, in Asher and Elath; Jehoshaphat, the son of Peruah, in Issachar; Shimei, the son of Elah, in Benjamin; Geba, the son of Uri, in the land of Gilead, in the country of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and of Og, king of Bashan. He was the only governor who was in the land. Judah and Israel,
Let me
whereas
just go back really quick. Oh, come on. And Solomon had 12 governors over all Israel, who provided food for the king and for his household. Each one made provision for 1 month of the year. These are their names, right? And these are their names. And okay. Saying in the land of Gilead, in the country of Sihon of the Amorites, and of Og, the king of Bashan. I was just describing the land. He was governor. He was the only governor who was in the land. Okay. I just got confused. There's so many names going on. Like, all right.
in Maah, sand, flour, and fatted fowl. From the past tribute and singing and rejoicing. The only governor who was in the land.
There we go.
Judah and Israel were as numerous as the sand by the sea in multitude, eating and drinking and rejoicing. So Solomon reigned over all kingdoms, from the river to the land of the Philistines, as far as the border of Egypt. They brought tribute and served Solomon all the days of his life. Now Solomon's provision for 1 day was 30 cors of fine flour, 60 cors of meal, 10 fatted oxen, 20 oxen from the pastures, and 100 sheep, besides deer, gazelles, roebucks, and fatted fowl. For he had dominion over all the region on this side of the river, from Tiphsah even to Gaza, namely over all the kings on this side of the river.
That's just crazy.
And
Like,
he had
they're
peace
into
on
Egypt
every
territory.
side all around him. And Judah and Israel dwelt safely, each man under his vine and his fig tree, from Dan as far as Beersheba.
That's crazy how they're pointing out Judah as separate from Israel. Let me look at the map of the Promised Land again real quick. I believe that was the largest territory to begin with as well. Sizes. Yeah, see? Check out Judah. Simeon was within Judah.
All the days of Solomon. Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots, and 12,000 horsemen. And these governors,
My
each man
gosh,
in his
think
month,
about that.
provided food for
number.
King Solomon and for all
Think
who
about that
came
many
to King
horses out.
Solomon's table. There was no lack in their supply. They also brought barley and straw to the proper place for the horses and steeds, each man according to his charge. And God gave Solomon wisdom and exceedingly great understanding, and largeness of heart, like the sand on the seashore.
There we go, talking about the wisdom.
Thus Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the men of the East, and all the wisdom of Egypt. For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan the Ezrahite, and Heman, Calcol, and Dada, the sons of Mahol, and his fame was in all the surrounding nations. He spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. Also he spoke of trees, from the cedar tree of Lebanon, even to the hyssop that springs out of the wall. He spoke also of animals, of birds, of creeping things, and of fish. And men of all nations, from all the kings of the earth, who had heard of his wisdom, came to hear the wisdom of Solomon.
So what I'm thinking is either Solomon could be the wisest person to have ever lived, or he could be an extremely wise person that has this. He's the only one who has a combination of his character, right? Who's empathetic and wise, while, at the same time, right? So because when it was talking about he will be unlike anybody else that has ever lived and will ever live, it didn't specifically say wisdom, but it is also saying that he is extremely wise, wiser than anybody in that land there, right? So I'm thinking could be either one of those two options. Chapter 5. This is going to be the last one for today.
Now Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants to Solomon, because he heard that they had anointed him king in place of his father. For Hiram had always loved David. Then Solomon sent to Hiram,
You know how my father David could not build a house for the name of the Lord his God, because
Not
of the
could
walls
not.
which were
Not could not. God said, what's the point? I don't need a house.
of the walls which were fought against him on every side, until the Lord put his foes under the soles of his feet. But now the Lord my God has given me rest on every side. There is neither adversary nor evil occurrence. And behold, I propose to build a house for the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord spoke to my father David, saying, Your son, whom I will set on your throne in your place, he shall build the house for my name.
Okay, so God wants a house now.
Therefore, command that they cut down cedars for me from Lebanon, and my servants will be with your servants, and I will pay you wages for your servants according to whatever you say. For you know, there is none among us who has skill to cut timber like the Sidonians.
So it was, when Hiram heard the words of Solomon, that he rejoiced greatly and said,
Blessed be the Lord this day, for he has given David a wise son over this great people.
Then Hiram sent to Solomon,
I have considered the message which you sent me, and I will do all you desire concerning the cedar and cypress logs. My servants shall bring them down from Lebanon to the sea. I will float them in rafts by sea to the place you indicate to me.
That's a good way to
have them
transport.
broken apart there. Then you can take them away. And you shall fulfill my desire by giving food for my household.
Then Hiram gave Solomon cedar and cypress logs, according to all his desire. And Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 cores of wheat as food for his household, and 20 cores of pressed oil. Thus Solomon gave to Hiram year by year. So the Lord gave Solomon wisdom, as he had promised him. And there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and the two of them made a treaty together. Then King Solomon raised up a labor force out of all Israel, and the labor force was 30,000 men. And he sent them to Lebanon, 10,000 a month in shifts. They were 1 month in Lebanon and 2 months at home. Adoniram was in charge of the labor force. Solomon had 70,000 who carried burdens, and 80,000 who quarried stone in the mountains, besides 3,300 from the chiefs of Solomon's deputies, who supervised the people who labored in the work. And the king commanded them to quarry large stones, costly stones, and hewn stones, to lay the foundation of the temple. So Solomon's builders, Hiram's builders, and the Gebalites quarried them, and they prepared timber and stones to build the temple.
It's underway. Well, that's going to be it for today. I mean, that's cool. I'm very curious to see how the temple gets constructed. That's going to be cool. Because I know there's a part where they're, I don't know if it's now or at the reconstruction of the temple, where they're building the temple and they're literally having to fight off enemies while they're building. I don't know when that takes place. But yeah, this is going to be cool, seeing the building of the temple. We're going to continue with that. Chapter 5, chapter 6. Right, 6 is when he builds the temple. So, yeah, this is going to be cool. Hope you guys enjoyed today's reading, and check out tomorrow for that, for the building of the temple. And we'll see how it gets constructed. I'm curious to see if they'll give a layout and the blueprints, like how God did with the tabernacle. Right? I'm sure there's going to be some detailed structural information. So we'll get that tomorrow, and hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys then. All right? Take care. Goodbye.